Hey, hello, Nikki. I'm here. Yeah, I guess it's just you so far. So today we're going to talk anxiety. Anxiety. That just a wonderful thing. Anxiety. Hi, Nikki. No, it's not a wonderful thing. No, I meant that we're going to talk, not that it itself is a wonderful thing. Hi, Mason. Hello, Tito. Hello, Dustin. Today's topic is on anxiety, but we'll give it a little bit to get people get their notice and stuff like that. Yeah, one of the things I have problems with anxiety. I'm on medication, but I've been decreasing it. I've been taking medication, and I figured it would be a good time to talk about anxiety. Someone was just in Healing Humanity's live stream, and they were shouting you out. I don't think so. They were wrapping things up. I wonder, was that Harry? Was that Hempstead House live with three others? I watched like 5 minutes of it and I went and took a nap. Oh, yeah, she's the one that actually got me the vibration plate. If it was that girl or something like that. All right, 10 people in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. Anxiety. That is like the crazy, crazy stuff, right? Um, Anxiety pretty much is like a storm inside, gets you all crazy. Um, a lot of people don't realize it, but a lot of, oh, am I all muffled? Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully it clears up. I know, yeah, things are getting low. Oh, well, I'll unplug my mic and plug it back in. Let's see. Hopefully that does the trick. If not, I'm sorry. Uh, I'm telling you, every day it's another problem. We can hear you. Just wanted to make sure you're aware. I were aware. I know. I was on another live video for about a half hour, and a lot of people are complaining that the internet is acting up all over the place and in multiple different states. So people really have that. They think that things are being cyber attacked. I think I'd just throw that out there. So one of the things I have learned through research is that anxiety is caused a lot by processed foods, sugars, seed oils, and even some foods that when sugars are out of whack, your anxiety, fuel anxiety. And when we go on the carnivore diet, it starts to heal some of that. You know, when your sugars in your brain go down and the fats is now your healing force for your brain, a lot of that anxiety disappears or is a lot better. You can handle it a lot better. It's lower. The storm is a lot better. And you still might have anxiety, but it's a lot lower and you're able to handle things a lot better. And there's a difference between anxiety and panic. Totally. They run side by side in a lot of cases. Really, Like, I'll give you an example. Anxiety versus panic. Panic feels like sudden and intense. It's sudden and intense, comes on quickly, often within minutes. I have had so many panic attacks. Like, I couldn't even sit in the car and have a car go by us. I'll go into a full force of a panic attack just to have a attack go by us. Physical symptoms, chest pains, racing heart, sweaty, shaky, dizziness, shortness of breath, tingling, sense of danger. You feel like you're dying. Yeah, I'm serious. I would have panic attacks just to get on an elevator. I couldn't get an elevator, but surely it was going to crash. I was going to step on it, and because I was so heavy, it's just going to crash down. And I'm like 5 stories high. I've been there. I could not. I actually panicked so bad that I couldn't do it, and I couldn't do stairs either because I'm petrified of heights. And I had to close my eyes, hold on to their shoulders, and walk into that elevator, not knowing where. I had to keep telling myself, I'm not, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Yeah, so, and usually panic attacks happen, they're like 10 minutes long. Anxiety is more gradual and long lasting. It can be like a couple of minutes and it can be for hours, but it's not that crazy panic. Anxiety is what ifs, all the what ifs. What if, and you get anxious. So it's constant worry and constant tension where panic is a full blown crazy, crazy. And I've had both. And I still worry. I still worry. I'm still sometimes anxious. But the panic attacks, thank goodness, I haven't had one in about a year or so. I mean, panic was so bad that I would panic inside taking a shower. Full blown freeze, you can't move. It's really, panic is really bad. But I know since I've been on the carnivore diet, it's only been 64 days being on the carnivore diet, a lot of that is a lot calmer. So with carnivore helps with all the blood sugars going up and down, up and down, up and down. So you're not having all that anxious anxiety. You got because you're on the carnivore diet, there's B12s, iron, zinc, and it's crucial for all those transmitters that's in your brain and all that beef, all that goodness in beef and the fish and the eggs. It helps fight brain inflammation because a lot of that comes from brain inflammation. And when you're on the carnivore diet, all these nutritious nutrients that you need for good brain health, you can easily, it, absorb. Your body can absorb those nutrients to actually heal your brain, all your gut and your brain. It heals. Um, so also with carnivore, there's less inflammation. You're not getting the seed oils or the glutens or the processed carbs. None of that inflames your gut, which inflames your brain, and it's just a crazy, crazy mess. So all of these, being on the carnivore diet helps with anxiety. And I got a list here of what it's a massive list of what people have complained, and even myself, I put some of my stuff on this list too of what anxiety feels like. And this is real, guys. A lot of people have problems with anxiety. Um, it comes on sudden, often without warning, can be triggered by stress, fear, and sometimes no clear reason at all. You don't have to have a reason to suddenly feel anxious and anxiety. It could just happen. Racing and pounding heartbeat, chest pains, tightness, shortness of breath, feels like you can't breathe, sweating, shaking, dizziness, tingling in the hands and face, hot flashes, and sudden chills. I get them both, or I used to. Overwhelming fear or sense of doom, feels like you're dying, having a heart attack, or losing control, disconnection from reality. That one is really strong sometimes for me when I'm having anxiety. Isn't that weird? Like you just feel like you're detached from reality. Usually peaks within 10 minutes and it gradually fades after the peak, but exhaustion can linger, fatigue, shakiness, worry about when the next panic attack is going to happen. Um, it's just ongoing. It's real, guys. A lot of people say, "Ah, it's just anxiety." It's just anxiety. Anxiety can be very physically upsetting and just horrible feeling. And then there's panic. Panic is like it's just what I just said. It's just crazy. It's panic is up here, whereas anxiety is down here. It's almost the same thing, but at a different level. But carnivore can help with all of that. It helps heal your brain and does all kinds of things. Gives you peace of mind. It's just simple. You know, you don't have to worry about what you need to eat or what you need to feed yourself. It's simple. The meals are simple. You know, so a lot of carnivores share stories of a calmer thoughts, calmer thinking, and that is so true. I can tell you that, especially since I don't feel like I have to take my meds every day. You know, it's just for anxiety, but I'm telling you, anxiety is real. You can't go up the stairs. You can't go down the stairs. You can't you have a hard time standing in a shower. You shake. You know, it's like you got to hold on. I used to have to actually hang on. I had a handle in my shower that I had to hold on to as I showered myself. Um, it's like a anxiety panic attack. You know, being in a car, couldn't drive, didn't dare to drive. I thought I was going to get into a crash. Anxiety's real. Couldn't go to a doctor. Didn't think I could walk. You know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So that's my little anxiety talk. But I really wanted you guys to understand that even those with anxiety, the carnivore diet can heal your brain and calm it down so that you know you can actually think. You know, you can go on living. You can just have peace of mind, and that's the most important thing, I think, as far as I'm concerned, because I deal with anxiety, or I used to deal with a lot of anxiety every single day, and a lot of what ifs. You know, now I don't do that so much anymore. I just accept things as they come and deal with it as it comes. So that's basically all I wanted to share with you was all that. Now that I'm sleeping better, you know, Convoy helped me sleep better. I'm getting probably 8 or 9 hours of sleep every night. That also helps with anxiety. Um, you know, you just don't realize at all what the foods that we are eating do to our bodies and our brains, our thinking, you know, our emotional thoughts and you know, mental health issues. A lot of it has to do with the foods that we eat. And once you're on the carnivore diet or even the keto diet and you're not getting all of those crazy sugars, your mind seems to calm. Um, yeah, I don't mingle with most people who do carnivore. I found some great people there, including you. But when I did carnivore before, there was a lot of judgment because of my red meat intolerance. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting all kinds of getting pop-ups that cover the chat because red meat intolerance. Yeah. It's because our brain needs ketones, right? Fat for fuel, and fat also heals, and it heals all those little cells in there that makes everything go. Yeah, so it helps with anxiety, depression, sleep. And once you start sleeping better, your depression is better. Everything it's like a domino effect. Once you've got all that food and your lack of sleep, and once you start eating right and you start sleeping better, everything starts to get better. It starts to smooth out. Hi, wild woman. Uh, Kept my anxiety and depression rampant. Yeah, it does, which kept my anxiety and yeah, a lot of people have meat. intolerance, the red meat. I love red meat. I just love it. The rarer the better. But that's me. That doesn't mean, that's somebody else. Does anyone else have problems with anxiety, or have you noticed that things have calmed down being on even the keto carnivore? When I always talk about carnivore, but to me, keto is here and carnivore is here. Carnivore is just a much stricter. Um, I see them both side by side. It's like they need each other to balance your life. It's like some people need to heal more, so they might go on the carnivore diet. But in reality, to me, they go hand in hand. Yeah, you have severe anxiety. Yeah, I do too. But it's getting better. Healing Humanity doesn't judge. They were just talking about our options like eating chicken and stuff, but make sure you have enough fat because chicken is lean. Yeah, whenever I eat chicken, I don't right now because I'm doing the beef. I'm doing the BBBE. But I do eat chicken, and when I do eat chicken, I add butter. I add more fat to it. It depends on what I'm making with the chicken. Um, I love it, but it doesn't love me. Yeah, a lot of people can't handle carnivore, and that's fine. You have to do what's right for you, and that's what I tell everybody. Whether it's keto, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if you're on the American Standard Diet, you still have to do you. There's a lot of things I can't eat that people on that eating keto can eat. That doesn't mean keto is bad. It's just, and it's the same way with carnivore. You just have to do you. What your body is craving. And I know my body can't handle a lot of sugar. I go, it sends everything mentally out of whack. I tolerate butter best when it's cold. I do too. Yeah, it's same thing for me. One girl, that melted butter is like laxative. If I need to go to the bathroom, all I have to do is drizzle some melted butter over my food, and I'm good. I don't have to worry about no more. If I'm acting a little distracted today, it's because there's a few little things in the family life that's going on, and it's like I'm trying to. So I'm getting a lot of messages everywhere, and it keeps covering my chat. Ah, Uh, yeah, so I'm reading messages from the whole family. Family, yeah, Grandma's got family drama going on right now, as Nikki would call it. Guess what you're doing right now? Oh gosh, do I dare to say? What are you doing right now? Yeah, I use it. I used to use foods to help me. Like if I've got that explosive diarrhea, I use cheese to help bind me up because it works great for constipating me. And it used to be if I was constipated, all I had to do was eat like a half a candy bar, and boy, do I get explosive diarrhea from that. But now all I have to do is use butter and cheese. Aw, thank you. Thank you, the one girl. Yeah, they're coming over tomorrow too. Well, my granddaughter's coming over to walk. A family anxiety moment. Yeah, yeah. Got a family member that's actually dealing with severe panic and anxiety right now, and it's so weird that I'm talking about it. And yeah, it's like, calm down, people, calm down. It has to do with the yarn you're crocheting. You're making a blanket. And it's something you do in every stream, except for right now. My blanket's right here. Can you imagine? I just started that blanket a few days ago, less than a week ago, and I'm already doing the border, or I'm gonna start the border. Ding, ding, ding. So, anyone else? All right, Jen, you deal with anxiety. Anyone else dealing with any type of anxiety, or have panic attacks, or have they experienced in the past, but because of the diets they're on, they've gotten better, or do you feel you've healed from anxiety, or does it catch you every now and again? Panic attacks? Yeah. Well, let's see what it says here about what helps at the attacks. I used to, when I have a major attack, one of the things I say whenever I'm troubled, and I have to tell myself over and over, my kids and my grandkids all know this, and that's to keep saying over and over again, and this too will pass. Because it always does. And I just close my eyes and I say, and this too shall pass. This too shall. It's not a religious thing. I just heard it a long time ago, and I have used it. Oh, I think my grandmother told me about it, to be honest, because she used to always send me these little things. And that one there, I just held on for dear life and just used it all the time. And this too shall pass. And whenever I'm emotionally upset or dealing with anxiety or a panic attack, I try to get that message to my brain to calm me down. And this too will pass. And this too will pass. It's helped with my procrastinating. I feel more motivated during the day. I am truly a procrastinator. I keep putting things off, or I used to, like walking. I have to talk myself into walking every day. But I do, when I get up, I do feel like as soon as I get up, within a half hour, I have to be out there and walk. And if I don't get out there and walk, first thing in the morning, when I first wake up, within that 30 minutes, I feel like my day is off. I'm behind. I feel like I'm behind. I'm still not over that meal at Longhorns. It has left me still hoarse, and I'm still fighting those little side effects from that meal at Longhorns. To anybody else, the meaning of this too shall pass is everything is temporary, and having the mindset is important, as it helps us not hold on to things. Yeah. I used to say years ago to my kids, if I when I die, I want that on my tombstone. This too shall pass. Just because I used it so much. My kids have probably heard me say that to them about a million times when they come to me with their problems. They know I'm going to say it to them, because no matter how severe or how stressed in that moment you are, all you have to do is say that, because it will pass no matter what. Ah, yeah, not don't hold on to things. And if you hold on to things, what happens? You get anxious. You can panic over it. Everyone's journey is different. Yeah, it is. And that is so true, Jen. Everyone is so different. And that's why, you know, I saw someone, well, oh, you can't do that on Carnivore. You can't do that on Carnivore. That's keto. That's this, that's that. You can't do that. And they were like policing, what is carnivore and what's keto. And to me, let's not police things, because everyone is different. I could be on a carnivore diet, but yet I'll have something like on Saturday, maybe maybe I felt like having sliced tomatoes, lettuce, and bacon on the side, no bread. But what if I had that? Suddenly, the carnivore police is going to come knocking on my door and say, "Oh, you can't do that." You can't do that. No, no. Maybe I need to do that for me. Everyone is different. Whether the foods that you eat, the foods that you're going to accept, as long as you're getting healthy and that's what you're striving for and you're doing it, who cares whether you slide into keto a little bit? Who cares? But what are you? Why are you telling me I can't do something? They put too much energy in the label. Just just call it the proper human diet. Exactly. Exactly, exactly. It's just the proper human diet, you know. And sometimes I don't even like saying diet because it's not really a diet either. I don't want to think that it's a diet when in actuality I'm trying to change my life. It's more of a lifestyle, it's eating the proper human diet. Yeah. That's a way of using it too. I had loads of anxiety pre-carnivore with depression, suicidal ideology, and I can't never say that word, agoraphobia. So I 100% that eating low carb is good for mental conditions such as that since it is basically gone. Yeah, I believe that too. I think it can help with a lot of stuff. A lot of people claim that eating low carb helps with uh, oh, I forget some of the words I was just going to say. It just went phew right out of my mind. Hi, everyone. Just got done cleaning the kitchen while listening. Time to say hi. Oh, hello. With I just had the word and I lost it again. What's going on here? I, I must have had sugar earlier or something in my dreams. But it helps with a lot of mental health issues, is what I want to say, no matter what it is, whether it's bipolar. I know people with bipolar conditions, and if I feel, if went into, you know, eating more of healthiness, they would actually turn that around. Yeah, diet to people is temporary. Exactly. That's why I say carnivore diet, but in reality, I don't really mean diet. You know, because that isn't what I'm trying to say. Like you said, it just means that it's temporary. And for me, this is the way I got to eat forever. I just got to learn what my body can handle and go with it. Eliminate all the stuff that isn't good for me and stick with the stuff because I love feeling much better than what I was living in. That fog, that not really living at all. I was just accepting accepting death pretty much because that's what you're doing when you're not eating properly and you can't get up and you're caught between just your bed and a chair, you know? And when it's just the bed and the chair, then I feel like I'm defeated. Like I'm defeated, and I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to accept that my life is over at 65. I want to believe that I can do more, you know. That's probably why I was dealing with so much anxiety. No, I think it went beyond. My anxiety was bad. I mean, I couldn't do escalators. There was so much I couldn't do. I definitely couldn't walk downstairs. I had to have people in front of me to walk downstairs. So I could pretend like I'm not really walking downstairs, I guess. I don't know why that made the difference, but it did. And closing my eyes. I remember going to, um, we were in Vegas, and we got tickets to see Circus of Malay or whatever that is. It's beautiful, like a circus, but on a stage, and it was beautiful. And it had to do with I think it was Elvis. Um, and we got the tickets, but when we went to the theater, our tickets were for like two flights up or something, balcony seats in the front way, and yes, that there, and it was in the on like two flights up, balcony seats. We had front row overlooking the stage, and I'll tell you what, I could not. I was like in tears. I was like freaked out so bad, major panic attack, couldn't do it. I'm in there's the banister right there. And I'm like, I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't tell you at all what the whole show was about because I was in a state of panic and anxiety during that whole thing. And when we had to get up and leave, I could not move. I was like glued to that chair. Everyone had to leave that balcony, and then my husband helped me get up. I just, I couldn't do it. I was in that much of a panic attack just going to the. So now it's like, I don't want to do that again. Someone says, you want to go to this, go to that. It's like, no, I absolutely don't want to do that. And so it just causes your life just to stall. You can't live because you have these panic attacks or anxiety. It's so severe that it catches you and it changes your life forever. And who knows, it's probably because I just get done, eating this high carb foods. And that in that lifetime, I was eating a lot of high carb foods, especially going to Vegas. Who wants to stop eating? Who wants to stop anything? You're on vacation, right? I don't look at keto, carnivore, or even low carb as a diet. It's a lifestyle. Yeah, I say diet, but only for you know. uh, it's to me, it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet, but it's just a quick way of saying it. We all know what it means. Um, Actual diet, but it's a temporary fix. Yeah, yeah. I don't either. This is it for me. I'm I'm not gonna stay a strict carnivore for the rest of my life. I want some flexibility for me personally because I do like having a salad now and again, with like some lettuce and maybe some, cut up some eggs and some chicken. I just want it to be a little less strict. No, I didn't. I didn't. I've been going to Vegas though for since like 2000, the year 2000, and we went every single year. Some years we went a few times. We had, we used to go to Vegas so much to the casinos that we would get picked up by a chauffeur that we didn't have to pay for. And the chauffeur would hold up a tablet that would say our last name on it. And he would pick up our bags and take us to a limousine and take us to the hotel, all of it for free. We would get our hotel for free, top notch, the whole balcony, beautiful. We got usually would get like $800 worth of free to play the slots. It's because we would go with $1,000 in our pocket. We would pay for our plane ticket and everything we'd book, but because we went so much that we would go with $1,000 each for playtime for the next 5 days. We'd go for 5 days, and um, when you got $1,000 and you play, and then you would win, and then you take the winnings and you play, and you keep doing that over and over and over again. Eventually, you end up putting in the slot machine all total because they'll tell you how much that you played, and we would be playing like 20, $30,000 worth of playing the slots, and so they saw us as we're spending tons of money because that's what it is on paper. And in reality, all we were doing was just we went with 1,000, but we kept playing playing on our wins, playing on our wins. We knew what slot machines to play, what gave us the best results of winning, and that's what we would do. And we always did great. I mean, we had free meals. We just had to say, yeah, put it on our room, put it on our room. On our on one of our anniversaries, we went to this real super fancy. fancy restaurant, and the bill came to about $300 plus, and we put it on our room, and they paid for it. We didn't have to pay for our meal, that big meal, our anniversary meal. The hotel paid for it. Um, so yeah, that's one of the yeah, total VIP. Yes, we were. Everyone else would go in a long line to go to all these places. Not us. We got to go to the side. We were VIPs. Yeah, and that's a really nice feeling to be treated like that. We get free tickets to free shows, and yeah, because they want us to keep coming back and spending, and spend. We'd get my husband would get the setup, he'd get the card, and then I would play off his card. So everything went on my husband's tab on his card. All of my playings went on his card, so it seemed like we were just always playing, or he was playing a lot because I would play on his card. Yeah, but we only went with 1,000. We stayed within that budget. But because you know what we had our favorite games, and we played those, would win. I think we were just lucky. I even got a payout once, guys. Yeah, they had to come and pay me in cash. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, about $2,000. So what we did, what we did, how, what we did is we would get that they gave you like play money. You had to use your card to get it, and they would give us about 800. We would go to this one particular machine that he and I liked, and we would do the high amount because we're not going to do just 50-cent bets or dollar bets. We were doing $10 bets, and when you do $10 bets, your payouts are more and they're better. So it turned that 800 into like a few thousand, and then we take that few thousand, and that's what we played on for the rest of our trip. It's pretty much how we did it. But yeah, you take that play money they give you and just play mats. I know. I'm big on vacation and eating all that great food. So I eat my low carb journey, fried cabbage with bacon. Oh, I love fried cabbage with bacon. It's one of my favorite foods. It's right up there. Green beans, avocado. I eat Primal Kitchen and Chosen Mayo. I eat mustard. I eat Cane's, no sugar, added ketchup. Yeah, that's what I got. Duke's tartar sauce, cream, cheese, and cream. Obviously, meat, and more meat. Yeah, and that's what I mean by eventually. That's where I'm going to slide into because I do like things like fried cabbage and bacon, and I don't see nothing wrong with any of that. So you eat like that for a day and then slide back over, maybe have a day or two of just eating eggs, bacon, and you know, eggs, bacon, some sort of beef. Yeah, for dinner tonight I had a uh, one of those cube steaks. Had cube steaks with um, you just got to properly fuel your body. Grandma, you're killing me. Why? Ah, I'm still getting texts. Ah, I'm so sensitive that I can't even put pepper on my meat. Yes, that's me. That's what's dealing with my throat right now is because of all that pepper that I end up ingesting 2 days ago. It takes me a few days to get all that mucus and stuff out of my chest and my throat. Ugh. And it's such a shame because I really enjoyed that steak. It was so good. And I should have known better too to eating it because I tasted that pepper. And I thought, oh, I'm going to eat it. It shouldn't be too bad. My rings are still tight, so my body's still healing from it. It'll break. I have confidence. I know it will. It'll get better. And it's weird because you don't even notice those little things or understand what might be going on when before the carnivore diet you didn't realize that the food is doing that to you. You just don't realize that that food is doing that to you when every day. And then when you go on the elimination diet of carnivore and you start eating some of these things and you realize what the heck it's doing to your body. It should be causing you anxiety. uh, yeah. To my she cave so I can do my exercises while listening and chatting. Uh, yeah, you basically eat just meat with salt. Yeah, that's what I do too now. Oh, well, I do that on every day. It's just that these little places like treating my steak, can throw you right off for a few days. That's just not fair, guys. Why do they have to ruin a good thing? Now, next time I go there, I'll end up having an anxiety or a panic attack if they touch my food the same way again. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about was, anxiety. Because so many of us being on this carnivore journey deal with anxiety. Um, a lot of us don't even dare to leave the house, go grocery shopping. For whatever reason, we got to that place of just, I know I've been there, didn't leave my house for like 3, 4 years. Can you imagine not leaving your house for that long and finally being forced to? Man, I deserve to have anxiety at that point. Okay. My husband nor I, when he had his stroke, left our house for 3, 4 years, and he had a stroke, and I was forced into leaving my house, and I was just panic attacks all over the place. You will have killed the inflammation in your body. The body will heal the gut. Hang in there. You're doing great. Yeah, you heal the gut, and you got it made. It starts in your gut. It starts with what you put into your mouth. Heal your gut, then heal your brain. I've been crocheting like 5 years, and I picked up this crochet hook. I just started crocheting like I never stopped. There you go, Jen. There you go. And not only that, but crocheting helps with anxiety. It calms you down. Now I'm working on a scarf. I've made a couple of beautiful scarves, actually. One's going for a Christmas present. And that's one of the reasons why I think I always crocheted because I was always dealing with anxiety. So I always had my little room where I could sit down and do crafts, my crocheting though over the past. year and a half, 2 years has blown up with yarn, but it was never this drastic until when Joanne's closed. When Joanne's closed, my yarn exploded. Well, it's been almost an hour. Um, yeah, be going off here in a few minutes. So, does anyone else have anything they want to say about anxiety? Stories that you might have, things that have happened to you? Like, I can go on and tell you about my anxiety and the things that I've overcome. I think I've overcome a lot in the last 2 months being, on this journey, you know, just doing it, you know. God, get rid of all the anxiety and the panic and go on with the living. Yeah, I did too. I love the yarn. And so much of it now, you can't buy it anymore. So, no stories? No one's got anything crazy they want to share? Anybody want to jump off out of a plane and do some parachuting? No? You better make yourself some strong coffee. I don't want no yawning like that. Yeah, that's what I just. I actually woke up from a nap about 20 minutes before coming on live. I went and lay down, took a nap, and I looked at my cell phone and I was like, "Oh God, I got to be live in 20 minutes." Uh, you do, you do. All right, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Jen. Tell us, share. Ah, I waited all that long for something, and you're saying I'm kidding. Now you have to share. You have to share. You have to tell us a story. Gotta tell us a story. I feel like maybe I'm the only one that ever had anxiety attacks. Me and Cindy, and maybe Jen. Jenny told her about three little piggies. I went to the market. How long have you been carnivore? Mason seems like the pro carnivore to me. Her and the one girl, or is that what her name is? The one girl. Oh, Mason, how long have you been carnivore? I was carnivore last year for about 6, 7 months, but mostly I've been keto. Before that, only about 2 months. Week 3, a lot of pain one. Yeah, yeah. The pain that I used to have just sitting here is gone, and that is just so great to me. If I stay on this diet and did nothing else for no other reason, the pain would have been a good enough reason for me to stay on this journey. Yeah, having yeah, the no longer the steady backaches or my neck hurting, my feet hurting. And it's weird that the numbness in the bottom of my feet is going away. So not only the pain, but also things like, the numbness and the tingling. In some place where it was totally numb is tingling now. It's like getting better. And then some places it's just feels normal. I'm turning normal, guys. Is that possible? Is that possible? Hello, Moon Man. Hello, hello. Do you have a story to tell us about anxiety you want to share? How long have you been carnivore? Well, last year I started when I was about a little over 400 pounds. And for about 6, 7 months, I went carnivore. But the first day of July, I went on a trip to Maine, and I went on vacation from even carnivore. I ate whatever I wanted to eat. I mean, I couldn't even get into the car, and I had a bag of chips because we brought junk food with us to be in the car for all those hours. And I was eating chips right within the first hour of being on vacation. And so that ended that. And I stayed off carnivore for probably close to a year. And then in in July, I started back up. Well, 60 something days ago, I started back up on it again because I got to the point where I couldn't walk. I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't walk to the kitchen without being breathless and had to sit. So I was getting all of that stuff back. I went from, you know, that's similar to me. Yeah. It's strange how it's strange how we all understand the story and the journey because we've been there. We might all be in different parts of that journey, but we've all been there. We're just traveling along. We all understand. And that tells me right there that you can learn from one another because it's like repeating the same story over again. You're just in a different part of the book, you know? And how many people are going to make it to that last chapter? That's what I want to know. How many of us? They claim that there's not many of us that succeeds. I'm going to be one of those that succeeds, though. There is no doubt I'm going to be one of those because I want it so bad. I like hearing about healing stories. I can go on and on about things like my vision, hearing, etc. improving, my skin clearing up, joint pains, basically. You say vision, and that's so strange, Cindy, because um, I have a vision one too. My reading glasses, I had a pair. My reading glasses were 3.0, were threes, and I went and lost my reading glasses when I went to Walmart the other day. So when I was in Walmart, I'm trying on glasses, and the 2.5s, I could see better with the 2.5. And so I went ahead and bought the 2.50, I guess they called it. So my eyes are getting better. The threes were like bothering my eyes, but I got the 2.5s and they work great. So they're getting better. I still can't see without them though. Yeah, yeah, Cindy. It's like you're telling me the same thing. That's about me. It's like the same story. You're here early. Ah, I had raw buffalo in Asia. Oh, did I see your story? Once upon a time, there was a princess who was locked up in the tower by a witch. She got so tired of it that she cut off her hair and climbed down and rescued herself. Well, there you go. There's Jen's story. And raw shrimp. Yeah, I'm not one for raw fish. I think it's because years ago I worked at the wharf when the fishing boats came in, and my job was pulling all the ringworms out of the fish. They would be red circles all through the fish when they filleted them. Someone would fillet them, put them in a tub, and then send the tub down the belt, and we would take the fish out, and we would take tweezers and pull out all the pinkish looking ringworms out of the fish. So I always cook my fish because of that. That's great, Bob. I'm enjoying playing piano so much better now since I can see the music without glasses. I also don't wear glasses when driving anymore. Whoa, kudos. So, how long have you been carnivore or doing this journey? Let's put it that way. And raw fish tastes like mermaid. How do you know what mermaid tastes like? Raw rainbow trout tastes like a mermaid. I'm a cheater. What just happened? Keto for a year, then for 2.5 years, carnivore now. Wow. The clams taste like unicorn. Keto for a year, then 2.5 years, carnivore now. Wow, that's incredible. That's what I want to be able to say one day, Sin. Why did you screw up my fish eating? I also reversed my long sight. Yes. Well, my husband says I have dog hearing now. It's classified. Uh, it would be nice if my hearing got better. Yeah, that's great. One of these days, Cindy, I can say it too. My mother has hearing like a hawk. I think a lot of mothers do. Well, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I am gonna go ahead and end this stream. I'm gonna go let the dogs out, grab myself some coffee, do do all my little bathroom things I gotta do, and then I'll be back. I'll probably come on a little bit earlier than usual. Um, I'm just gonna go do all that and then come back. It's been an hour. I like keeping these about an hour long. And then we'll do the whole nine all nighter again. We'll stay on for about 4 hours. So I hope you all come back and hang out with us for the night. We will be back. So on that note, guys, I'll see you in an hour, hopefully. And I will see you in about an hour, guys. Hopefully, anyway. Love y'all. 3, 2, 1, here we go.